Hey, what is going on? And welcome back to another XDizzle tutorial. If you're new here, welcome to my second channel. But yeah, we back at it again. So in today's video, I'm gonna be making some nice deep house using only the plugin SAWER that comes with FL Studio. So I'm gonna make a series that I'm gonna be doing that I'm just gonna be using just one VST, and you guys can also suggest what other VST that you would love to see me use in my next video down below in the comments. But today we're just focusing on the SAWER. That's the one I'm going to use to create some nice deep house. And what I want to achieve with this is show you guys what you can achieve by using this one plugin in case maybe you want to purchase it and you're thinking twice. So I just want to show you the capabilities and show you what you can do with it, and then you guys can let me know if you like the plugin or not, and we keep going. But all the other sounds like drums I'm going to be using are going to be from my own drum kits. I have links in the description to where you can go to my store and you can find all my products there. So let's start with some drums. Let me start with some hats. I like the texture of that hat. So the preset I'm using that's already here in the my whole setup layout of FL Studio. If you go here to File and go to New From Template and go to Utility, you'll see the preset called Drum Mix. That's the one that I'm using. That's why I see my mixer is already routed with some channels. It just saves time. If you've been watching my videos from my main channel, you know I showed you guys how you can actually set this up. Okay, so I'm just gonna raise up my swing. The swing is over here, up here, so I'm just gonna raise that. Just gonna add that. And I'm just gonna send my hat to the hat channel, to the hat mixer channel. I like that. Now let me look for another sound over here. I like how that sounds. So the trick when adding open hats, what I like to do is I like to fill in each 4 steps over here, and then it's gonna sound like this. And then what I like to do is I like to press Control Shift, and then I move the points to the side. There we go. Instead of having to draw all of these one by one until I'm done. So it's just nice to use this trick to save you time. So now I have hats in, and I'm also going to put these in number 3. Then I'm going to come here to the playlist and add 4 bars over here. Just up until 5, just 2. Now let me see if I can find a nice clap loop that I can use. I like that. Okay, I don't like what that preset is doing to the sound, so I'm just gonna turn off the EQ and turn off this compressor. Now let me just go ahead and look for a nice kick from my drum kit. I like the sound of that one. I like the sound of that one. And again, I'm just going to say fill in each 4 steps and then Shift Control if you want to move these around. But I want to keep them as is. And then I'm going to send them to the channel number 1 over here where it says kick. Just going to add a last one at the end. So now we have a nice groove going. Now I'm gonna create a new pattern, and then I'm gonna add SAWER. Now SAWER is loaded. I'm just gonna send it to a channel insert 8. Make sure that it's routed already. Now let me look for a nice pad sound. I'm just gonna go into pads, and I'm gonna use classic mood. It's a really nice pad sound. Sounds really nice. I'm just gonna record that. Make sure notes and automation is selected, and I'm just gonna right click here, and I don't want to record automation, so I'm gonna turn that off. I'm gonna put on the countdown before recording that you find up here. Put that on. I like how those notes sound. Now let me record that. 1, 2, 3, go. There we go. Simple chord progression, and I'm just gonna press Alt Q to quantize, and I'm just gonna fix these notes so that they touch, or you can just press Control L for legato so that all the notes touch. Just gonna chop off this one at the end. Select all, quantize, raise the duration, because if I leave the duration here on the quantize, you can see that my notes are not touching the end here. So I can just raise the duration so that it can also quantize the ends and not just the start time, and then I can accept that, and then by default it's gonna stay with those settings. And I think this last note here, this bottom note, can change. I'm just gonna chop here in the middle, and then I'm just gonna raise that one. Let's hear how that sounds. That does sound nice. Raise it up again. That sounds much better. And time to add another SAWER. So you can go into your menu and click another SAWER, but I like to just clone the first one that I have. So I can just go in here and select clone, and then it's just gonna load another instance of the same plugin. Now let's look for some keys. I like that sound. Cop out. Record that. I'm gonna say don't ask in the future, because every time I press record it's gonna keep asking me to do this. So I'm just gonna have it stay the same. Create another pattern. 1, 2, 3, go. Quantize that. But I think I started this note early, so I'm just going to make sure my start time is nicely quantized. And I'm just going to bring it back. I'm going to push it forward. So remember, if you clone a certain channel of a plugin or VST or a sound, it's going to also copy the same mixer track. So you can see here my first pad sound and the second one that I added are all in the mixer channel track 8. So I'm just going to move this one up to 9 so that they're separated. Then I'm going to clone again. And then I'm going to move this one up to 10. Now let's look for a base. A base that I like that's in here is a squarer. I like how that sounds. I'm going to record that. I'm going to create a new pattern. There we go. Now we got some bass notes. Really nice and simple and basic. And then I'm just going to quantize that. Let me turn my grid back to cell. Okay, I want these notes to be really short, so I'm just going to bring them back like that. I want to add another note here at the end. Another one here. Some more notes here. I like how the bass line is sounding now. So always keep in mind that when you're playing or programming your notes or your chords, they don't have to sound perfect the first time, but you can always fine tune them and make them sound better. Now right now I can hear that our bass is kind of clashing with our kick, so we're just going to do some simple side chain to fix that. I'm just going to rename this empty track to side chain. Then boom, and then I'm gonna click here on the kick, and then I'm gonna come here to sidechain, and I'm gonna say sidechain to this track so that it sends its image to the sidechain. And then this bass sound, I'm gonna have it come to the sidechain route to this track only, so that it's sending a signal to the sidechain first, and then it goes to the master. So that's what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna add a fruity limiter. Go to compressor, drop down my threshold, increase my ratio, and increase some of my knee, and drop down the release because I don't want it to feel wavy. I just want my kick to have a little bit of room. muted my mic there. So you can actually hear the sidechain happening. So if I add more, you can hear what's happening. We're allowing the bass to give room for the kick to also come across. Now we're gonna add some melody to this track. I'm just gonna clone again our saw, and let's look for a really nice sound somewhere in the leads. Let's look for a higher register. I like how that sounds. That's nice and simple. I'm gonna keep that, I'm gonna quantize that, and then I'm gonna take that out and throw it into its own pattern. Then clone again. Just make sure that all of these are going to different mixer tracks. Now let's go into another folder here. We're going to go into keys and look for another sound. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the ghost notes of our main pad sound to create a nice melody. So I'm just going to add short notes. I like how that sounds. I'm going to copy that. I'm just going to select this and press shift and drag. I'm just going to add a couple more notes. Then I'm going to drag these over again. And then I like the sound, the progression of this melody, but I want it to be at a high register. So I'm going to press Control up, and then I'm just going to transpose it an octave up. And then we can add some reverb to the sound. I like how it sounds. We can also put it in its own pattern. There we go. Let's add some cymbals to this track. We can add those cymbals there. Just pan them a little bit to the left. Pan this one to the right and pan this one to the left. And then now we basically have a basic track laid out. And then now all we just have to do is find some other sounds we can throw in just to make something interesting. I'm going to clone these and look for some really different sounds. I like how that saw sounds. Okay, let me just undo that quantize. Oops, let me redo that. Redo recorder stuff. Redo piano roll quantize. So one thing that FL Studio does that they added, a feature, is that they actually added a quantize when you're recording that is up here. So you can see that what I played is not actually what came out. So just be mindful of this because that's what happened here. So just make sure that this automatic quantize is turned off here on the record button. So I just switched that off. So let me just play these notes again. Record that. There we go. Now it didn't quantize automatically. I'm going to quantize myself, so it doesn't quantize as I'm recording. So that's a quick little tip that will save you a lot of frustration. Just put this to channel 14. Duplicate this 4 times and add a noise splash over here. Then I'm going to show you how you can make a little bit of a build up. I'm going to delete this this recording that I just made, this previous channel. This one as well. Then I'm going to remove some of my drums at the end here. Add a crash right there, just to show there's a little bit of a change. I'll just also drag these back out like this and just add this clap and add the drums back. Add the bass there, and as the bass starts, you'll be signaled by a crash, and also this cymbal. Pan this one to the right, pan that other saw to the left. Duplicate that. Over here, I'm just going to switch off some of the sound. And one thing I'm noticing is that this sound over here has some sub-frequencies that I want to take out. So I could just add an EQ, parametric EQ2, and load up a preset. Any between these ones that add a nice high pass, and then I'm just going to cut off some of that low end. You can see it has a lot of low end information here, so I'm just going to cut that off. Just somewhere here around 100. You don't want to take out too much of that. You can also cut out some of the high end if you want to as well. Or you can have it move. So I'll just automate that, create automation. And then you can have the sound change as it's moving. I can just do that. And then I'm going to have this second synth build up slowly over here in the middle. But what I want to do is I don't want my automation to be as long as this one. So the way I can make it only affect from over here to there is I'm just going to right click and select this area. And then I'm going to go to the sound itself, and I'm going to go to the volume knob here, and I'm just going to create an automation clip, and then there you go. It created a small automation clip. I'm going to drop down the first point, and then it's just going to automate the volume from there. So if you want to make short automation clips, that's how you do it. Just select the portion and then create the automation clip. There you have it. That's been my video, but you guys let me know what you think about SAWER, and also let me know down in the comments what other plugin you would want to see me use in the next video. This is going to be an ongoing series where I use just one plugin and kind of showcase what you can do with it and how it works and what type of sounds you can create using that plugin. But also let me know which one is your favorite go-to plugin that you use for FL Studio. It could be a native FL Studio plugin or an external one that you've added, that you've purchased. But I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll check you in my next video. I'm X and I'm out. Peace.